Book hauls don't count against you if you didn't actually purchase most of the books, right? Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to be doing mostly book mail, but still counts as like a book haul because I've realized I've actually bought very few books. There are a few in here that I did purchase, but for the most part these are things that I have been sent or in some cases purchased from somebody. But you know what? We're looking past that. But specifically we're going to take a look at some book mail and jump in and take a peek. So first of all, we have By Blood, by Assault by J.L. Autumn. And this one, Tori from Tori Talks, who loved this book, arranged to have sent to me. It is actually signed by the author and personalized, which I was not expecting at all. But she loved this book and was really encouraging people to read this one. So I know this is military fantasy, which is Tori's one of her favorite genres. So we have... When the enemy of your enemy is your only friend, in the end you stand alone. Azelta has served the Moroan army for 13 years. There are 7 left to pay. A pariah and a debt soldier, he is a commander with no rank, a soldier without citizenship, and wears a sword that is unlawful for him to either own or use. He has learned to hold his tongue or risk losing everything. How our blurb kind of there starts. So I know Tori has talked this up big time, so I was already really interested in this, and she was so nice to arrange to have me not only a copy sent, but a signed copy. So very, very cool and pretty excited there. And then I had a few things that were just sent out to the P.O. Box. I do have P.O. Box in the description, so people are certainly welcome to send things, which were... starting with from author Marquise Little, who sent these over, which looks like Wand and Smoke is the name of the series here. So this looks like this is the first book. So let's read a quick blurb here. So we have, just outside a small coal mining town by the name of Village South dwells the bitter, blind, drug-dealing troglodyte, the self-styled cult leader and lord of fear, Canty. Together with his sole follower, the serpent-cursed girl, known only as Broken, these wannabe villains seek power and occult magic enough to take their vengeance on humanity. That is, until their leaden souls are turned to gold when both Canty and Broken become heroes after coming face-to-face with a real spirit of vengeance and incarnation of tyranny. So, interesting and kind of interesting art style here. So, we do have those ones. And then as well, I was sent this one, which is The Tides of Kadavar, the 12 Paladins, Volume 1 by C.E. Wooldridge Jr., also sent out to the P.O. Box. There's the cover there. And this one, Invasion. It is the dawning of the 5th Age, the Age of the Salamander. The land is known as the Sword Kingdoms, but in older times it was known as Terra Sanguinar, the Land of Blood. At the beginning of this new age, why should the land be known as anything else? The forces of darkness seek to regain a foothold in the world once again, and Terra Sanguinar will become the staging grounds for what is to come. As the aggressive strategies of this ancient foe become apparent, it will be the actions of a warrior and his allies which will determine the outcome of the coming battle. So then we have that one here. So this one sounds more fantasy. The other one sounds kind of like I don't even know what kind of fantasy. It was kind of interesting description here. But yeah, so those ones I don't know a ton about, but we'll definitely get them added to the old list here. And then one of the few, because I've accepted so few, and this was a while back, and I'm so behind on filming these, but one of the few review copies that I had accepted a while back, To Castle Kingside by John Grundy, and this is a high-tech novel, it says, and I really do enjoy the cover on this one. It's just a beautiful looking book. I really like this background, and this is so it's supposed to be kind of sci-fantasy, and it's the author did specifically say that it's got a lot of fantasy elements, especially with the storytelling, even though it's kind of in a sci-fi world, which I tend to either I really like my sci-fantasy or I like really hard, and so sometimes I don't know where I'm going to land, but this one sounds like a lot of the kind of fantasy elements in the storytelling here. So this one, let's read the description. For the mercenary group Parliament, it was meant to be their final mission, one last quick little adventure, just for old time's sake. A chemically enhanced mentalist with a familiar face has gained power and influence among the neutral planets and turned a member of parliament against his own. Now he aims his army of synthetically augmented warriors equipped with psionic amplifiers at the worlds of the Coalition. Can renowned mercenary heroes at the very end of their careers gather the strength to fight one more battle and deter him from his twisted obsessions, the enslavement of the galaxy, and the destruction of Parliament? So this is supposed to be kind of based on like a sort of like D&D-esque type of game, not specifically D&D as well there too. So I think that makes sense where it's kind of has some of those fantasy elements. So I'll be interested there. That's a pretty one for sure. And so I'm doing a sci-fantasy right now that was also a review copy from last year. So it'll be fun to try another sci-fantasy one. And then speaking of really pretty covers, because I've talked a lot about Raven Earth is one of my favorite new covers, and Zamar Amar, the author, was kind enough to send me copies of the next one, Sundered Moon, which I do really like this cover. However, look at this for this novella, A Sojourn in Sunset Forest. I love this so much. I don't know if I like this or the book one cover more. But gosh, beautiful with our dinosaur. Like, you're gonna win with dinosaurs from me. You don't need to see my face. Look at the beautiful covers. But so I'm so excited to continue this series. This was such a unique one, and one that I just was curious to try out, and is a little bit different from some of the stuff I normally read, with it being kind of more of the, like, you know, Abercrombie, like, modern grimdark type of take, but just the fascinating world building and all kinds of interesting things. I'm so excited to continue in that series as well. So then I did purchase a few things as well here too from Half Price Books. I've been there a couple of times, including some things that I've kind of wanted to, a couple of things I was curious on, and the one that's just a new copy. But I grabbed Trudy Canavan, her book Thief's Magic, which I've meant to read some Trudy Canavan, not an author that I've tried, and I kept seeing different books in this series, but not the first book. And so because of that, I'm like, you know what? I saw this. I'm going to go ahead and grab this this first book here. So I don't know when I will get to it, but I've been interested in getting to a while. And why not, since we're reading blurbs? Forget what you know about the nature of magic. In a world powered by magic, Tian, student of archaeology, unearths an ancient book, one with a mind of its own. This magical artifact has been gathering information for years, including a clue to the disaster Tian's world faces. So escape to a new world. Yeah, fantasy archaeologist. Sounds pretty cool. And just an author I meant to try for a while. And then we have Star Eater by Kirsten Hall. And I don't really know a whole lot about this particular book, but I read one of her novellas, Second Spear, that I thought was really interesting. So this is an author that I've been kind of keeping an eye out for. So this one is, let's see here. All martyrdoms are difficult. Elfreda Round will avoid pregnancy if it kills her. One way or another, it will kill her. Though she's able to stomach her gruesome day-to-day duties, the reality of preserving the sisterhood of Atrium's magical bloodline horrifies her. For a brutal price, the matriarchal order keeps their city afloat above a haunted continent full of monsters. She wants out, whatever the cost. It sounds like she just writes kind of weird, dark fantasy stuff, and so I'm really curious to see what that's going to be. And then I got this hardcover of Fireborn by Rosaria Munda because I'm kind of annoyed that it's got the Book of the Month branding, but I only have a paperback, and I really actually liked this book. I still need to continue the series, so I came across this at Price Books. I'm like, why not? I'll grab a hardcover. It's a book that I really liked. And then I ended up getting, if I can get the stack over here, this big stack of J.V. Jones hardcovers from Andrew, who was doing a kind of an on-haul. And so I got these for a really nice price from him, which these are in completely out of order, but most of this is the series for A Cavern of Black Ice, being the first book by J.V. Jones. J.V. Jones, an author that I've also meant to get to for a long time. Now, I want to read, she's got, you don't have to read them together, but she's got another series, the Book of Words, which I think is the same world, and so I kind of wanted to get to that. But this one and A Fortress of Grey Ice is in this series, and then Sword from Red Ice, which, like, just look at these cool covers too. I love the old school fantasy covers so much. Very cool looking as well. And then Watcher of the Dead, I think, is the last one in this series. Also looking cool. And that also includes The Barbed Coil, which is a standalone. But again, author that I really want to get to. So opportunity to get a bunch of hardcovers of, 90s female author that's right in my niche of stuff to read. So I figured I would jump on that and grab it. So I'm excited to try that. And then I knew I had one more. I had to figure out where it was. I also just grabbed. I went to Half Price Books for my daughter. I swear, who's only 9 months old. But we picked out some books for her. It was a lot cheaper than when I'm getting books. But I grabbed something just random. It was like $2. This is Beyond the Drake's Teeth by Marcia J. Bennett, which is some, from the looks of it, wild 80s fantasy here. So I don't know. This just looked kind of fun. It's super short. I grabbed it, and maybe we'll throw that in and give that a shot at some point because it sounds like a fun time. But that's really it. There's all of the book mail as well as the other, like the book haul kind of portion there. I still have been doing a good job for the most part of not getting too many things. This, like I said, most of this was book mail with some things I got too. But yeah, no, I wanted to make sure that I got to show off all of these, including some really, really fancy looking covers as well. But that's it for this one. So let me know your thoughts on any of these books. Check the links in the description as always for the Patreon if you want to support what I do, as well as the Wizard of the Enclave Discord if you want to chat books, whether any of these books, other books, really anything at all. It's a lot of fun and we'd love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.